What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, on this channel, we like to go ahead and discuss stuff like leaks, official information, insider information, or just simply sharing our opinions and stuff like that. But at the same time, we like to take topics that are a little more out of there, out of bounds. Topics that are more considered conspiracy theories, things that don't have official information technically backing them up, things that aren't, based off of insider information, not even opinion based. Basically, we are just looking at certain things and just kind of, guessing the future, trying to predict the future. And we want to go ahead and discuss different topics in the comment section and spark your guys' imagination as well. But as I've been sitting back and looking at the Call of Duty franchise as a whole, it seems to me personally that Activision is really trying to differentiate these development teams to a whole different level. Now, Call of Duty developers have always been different in their own special way. Treyarch has always made a really good classic, arcadey style Call of Duty title. Very fast-paced, very simplistic to understand, very beefy skill gap included within the game, more simplistic map design, so it's more focused on gunfights over actually, just casually, messing around. That's always been Treyarchs Style, in my personal opinion. Infinity Ward, they have always been, in my opinion, the casual development team. They don't really care too much about the competitive league. They rarely even put a, league play in their games to even begin with. They put one in Modern Warfare 2019, but it didn't even have any stack trackers. And I believe they're going to put one in Modern Warfare 2, but of course, Treyarch is making that one. So, that kind of says enough about how much Infinity Ward cares about competitive side of COD. But, like I said, each development team had their own style of making Call of Duty games, but at the end of the day, they weren't drastically different. If you think of a game like Call of Duty 4 over to World at War, they were stupidly similar. Stupidly similar. The perks were basically the same. The weapon, variety between attachments, very simplistic, bare bone. World at War didn't even have the camo system in that game either. It was a World War II shooter. I think they just wanted a little bit more plain and simple to understand, the time period of the actual war. But, you get what I'm saying here. It's a reskin of COD 4 with a Treyarch twist. In my opinion, it was more fast-paced, more arcadey. That's why I loved it about World at War. That's why I loved it so much compared to COD 4, even though I still love COD 4 so much. But you could definitely tell Treyarch was behind developing that game. But, like I just said, it wasn't drastic changes. But if we fast forward to today's times, you think of a game like Modern Warfare 2019 to a game like Black Ops Cold War, they are drastically different in gameplay and also just fundamentals alone. Like I said, we have been fighting with these developers for years now, trying to get red dots on the minimap without having to have a perk to, get that. It's so pointless. We just want red dots on the minimap. The footstep audio, Ninja as a perk. We don't even need dead silence. We just want a perk to reduce footsteps a little bit. And you could even add in Amplify to go ahead and counter that for people who want to counter dead silence. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all we're asking for here. But as a community, I think we can all agree that Infinity Ward is really taking it a step further to not want to, change any of these things within the game. And I understand if it's massive game-changing problems that would really make a player's, experience bad, but something like a minimap, we've been dealing with this since the beginning of time. I don't think adding red dots on the minimap would ruin anybody's experience. I'll be real here. Like I said, COD has been a successful franchise forever now. That implementation has only been in Modern Warfare 2019. That's when it began. So all of this time you're telling me that just now red dots are bad? I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't sound too right to me. Personally, I really am starting to believe that Infinity Ward and Treyarch are starting to be separated more and more. Activision is truly trying to differentiate these development teams because I think they're seeing that they're at a point where they can't mimic the Call of Duty formula anymore and keep the cash cow pumping like it used to back in the day. Call of Duty 4, World at War, you move over to Modern Warfare 2, then Black Ops 1. Then you get, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. All of these games, once again, like I said, even though they had their differences, you could definitely tell that all the Modern Warfare games were Infinity Ward made. And you could definitely tell all the Black Ops games were Treyarch made. You know what I'm saying? But they were all still pretty darn similar. Now, it's like, when you see an Infinity Ward game, you expect no minimaps now. You expect not having dead silence. You expect loud footsteps. You expect more tactical gameplay. You expect that out of Infinity Ward game now. Treyarch, when they come into the picture, you expect red dots. You expect, perks like dead silence or ninja. You expect more simplified maps. You expect, a more pub-stomping playstyle. And again, I'm not trying to say, either side is bad because honestly, if I want to be real here, I love Infinity Ward. I really do. I will admit Modern Warfare 2 isn't, the most top tier game. I like it, but it's not the most top tier COD game. And Modern Warfare 2019, I didn't even care for at all. But at the end of the day, it seems a little fishy to me that one development team is sticking with their guns so hard for these features to stay, and the other team doesn't even care about these features being re-implemented back into the game again. And I've seen teams go way further with revamping their games. World War II was completely overhauled. Battlefield 2042 right now is also going through basically a complete overhaul as well. The new update comes out, I believe, the 22nd of this month. We're going to actually go ahead and play that on stream, so if you guys want to check that out, the link to my Twitch live stream is down in the description of this video. We actually stream every day as well on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, so if you guys just want to check that out in general, by all means, like I said, the link is down below. But, like I said, all these games have gone 10 trillion times further with overhauling their games while it's already out. It shouldn't be a problem for Infinity Ward to add red dots on the minimap. I've seen development teams pretty much, like I said, Cyberpunk. Look at Cyberpunk. That game has pretty much been overhauled completely. It was one of the worst games ever known to mankind, and now everybody absolutely loves it. Now, yeah, there was a TV series, I believe, that came out that, gave a little more hype to the game. But, completely overhauled. It can be done. But Infinity Ward is truthfully sticking to their guns, and it makes me think that Activision is forcing them to do so. If the red dots on the minimap is such a crucial thing for Infinity Ward, they think it's mandatory. If Activision apparently have stats behind the scenes that are, providing factual information that players will stay longer in the game, their retention span will be extended if red dots are not on the minimap, then why is it so easy for Treyarch to just not give a crap and put them back in the game? And why is it so easy for players to enjoy that game still as well, casual and hardcore players? Again, not logical whatsoever. I'm beginning to believe that, like I said, Activision is starting to see they can't pump COD like they used to, that these games have to truthfully have a massive difference between one another in order for players to actually cough up $60 to $70, especially with raising prices. These games are like $70+ now. So I think that they're seeing this and they're noticing that people are going to, be thinking about their purchases from now on. They're going to be looking at the differences. You have a lot of new reviewers. Internet has expanded in so many different ways compared to back in the days. The internet back in Call of Duty 4 is way different than the internet current date with, Modern Warfare 2. So many different names out there, so many different, influencers who can literally persuade hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people to purchase a product off of 3 words in a YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? Times have changed. And I think Activision is forcing that on these developers. And to be honest, I understand where they're coming from because it does keep it fresh for me. When I see a Treyarch game, I know exactly to expect a Treyarch style. I know to expect more fast-paced gameplay. I know to expect a more pub-stomping experience. And when I see an Infinity Ward title now, I know to expect a more casual experience, a more simplified experience. You kind of got to turn off your brain in Infinity Ward titles because there's just so much cheese backing it up that, if you even really want to try your hardest, you're just going to get clapped from so many different random things and so many random factors. I'm starting to understand the differences between the games, and I respect the differences, and it definitely keeps it fresh. Every year you expect something new, refreshing out of the whole franchise. But at the end of the day, I still 110% think that these changes shouldn't be happening. I understand from a business perspective that they have to make the game and the franchise fresh in order for it to stay successful and keep making money. Even with Warzone, they have to keep it fresh because if Warzone dies, guess what? COD is dead as well. But core features like a minimap, being able to actually ADS your weapon normally, I don't understand. COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, these are simple things. It's always been in Infinity Ward titles. I understand the direction they're trying to push here, but Infinity Ward games like COD 4 and Modern Warfare 3 were tactical while still being able to keep a fast-paced flow. It was successfully done in the past. It should be able to be, successfully done in the present. If you want a really slow ADS time, if you want a really bulky gun, then by all means deck out an LMG, a sniper rifle. But a lot of these ARs and SMGs, you're putting on very simple attachments like, grip tape, and that's bumming down your ADS time. It's not really logical in my eyes. I'm thinking about it right now. I really am. I'm thinking of putting grip tape on a gun and putting up to my sightline. And I'm really trying hard, guys. I'm trying hard to think of how that's going to slow me down, but I just can't. If you guys can think of how that's going to do it, then put it down in the comment section. I might not know, but I don't know how that, is a thing. So, I get the direction they're pushing here, but they needed to find a different way to differentiate these development teams. In the past, it was like, Treyarch had zombies. That's what differentiated Treyarch from Infinity Ward. Their games were similar in certain ways, but Treyarch, once again, more fast-paced games, but they also had zombies to help differentiate them. Infinity Ward had Spec Ops. They shouldn't be changing core fundamentals like the minimap, dead sounds, ninja, footstep noise, ADS speeds, things that made Call of Duty so popular in the past. They need to be changing other aspects, like map design, for example. I think the map design decisions are great. I like that Infinity Ward has these style of maps. They're more creative in Modern Warfare 2. They're fresh in Modern Warfare 2. There is, like I said, there's never-ending possibilities in Modern Warfare 2 with these map designs. Every single time I log on to this experience, there's so many crazy spots to find. That's why I'm so disappointed that they added shootouts and ship in Season 1. Instead of adding in actual maps with variety, they could have added in anything new into the game, or any other remaster from the game that actually has replayability. But they add camo grinding maps, the most simplistic style of maps, the smallest style of maps. That's why I'm a little disappointed, because Infinity Ward is known for exactly this. The insaneness. I remember going back in COD 4 and just hopping in private matches, going to old school, or, just tuning up your health all the way and just rocket jumping and finding these out of these world spots. It's so much fun. That's Infinity Ward. But that's where, like I said, they differentiate themselves from Treyarch. Not in the way of the minimap. That should not be touched, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new to the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat me, this do we do so. I have Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.